Welcome into the Live a Biscuit. I am Drew Dollars. I'm joined today by the Publicker Bumpkin,
But yeah, Pucker Bucket.
DJ Lewis. What's up, buddy? I think that looks better for both of us, what I just did.
Yeah, man, looks straight to me.
Uh,
Yeah, no,
that beard's looking good. It's so wild to me how the part you shaved is forever is the part that's gray.
it is weird, right? It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. It's really been something. I was not expecting that. But I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I
You're
don't
not a
like.
fan of the gray?
I'm not a fan of the hair, of all the hair on my chin, on my
Oh,
neck.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Getting used to that is a whole thing, and then once you get used to it, you can't get unused to it. I can't remember if we talked about that guy cutting my hair, even though I didn't want him to. I tried to get basically a faux mullet, and then this dude just didn't want me to have that and cut all my hair off, and I genuinely teared up when I left because it took me so long to grow it out. But he shaped my beard perfectly, and it lasted 2 days. So I'm saying all that to say, like, yeah, man, it's not worth it. If you got a good chin, just let the world see it. You know what I mean? I feel about men chins like I do about girl titties. If they're nice, don't cover them up.
Yeah,
Oh.
I agree.
All right, we're gonna start off with something. Oh, the limey redneck from England is here. What's up, limey redneck? We're gonna start off with something a little gross, but this happened with me and Andy, and it's happened before, and I think it's funny, and I think couples and friend groups do this. She was telling me while she was doing her makeup just like 20 minutes ago that she almost sent me a picture of her poop this morning. And I was like, well, you don't ever need to do that because I don't want to see it, but also because I know what it looks like. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I said, I've only ever gotten one picture of poop from any friend or girlfriend or anything else. It's long, it looks like a snake, and it's pointing at the end. Every single time anyone's ever been tempted to send a picture of number two, it's looked exactly the same. So we don't have to do it anymore.
But okay, did she say that was right?
Yes. She's like, that's exactly what it looked like. I'm like, I know. That's the only kind I have where I'm like, I wish somebody else could see this. That's the only kind you're proud of. Everything else is very normal or a horrible, horrible, horrible incident.
Man, that's so funny because I was listening to some sort of weird talk radio thing, and it was all about having a poop friend. Like women who have
their poop.
So women who have friends that they consort with about their poop.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think, and they were like real serious. And it's like, hey,
because it's a real big health indicator issue, right?
Right. But dudes, if a dude shows you his poop, it's because it's massive, or it's just
yeah. It's funny to think about the dude discovering he has a poop friend when he's like, huh? Look at that. And his boy's like, dude, you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah. Buddy, there's something going on. And then all of a sudden man, that's so crazy. That's so crazy to take.
Maybe then it's mostly dudes, and Andy's got a lot of dude in her. But if anybody out there listening is, sending pictures of your poop, you don't have to, because we all know what it looks like. There's only one type you ever want to share.
Right.
It's the long snake pointing at the end.
Yep.
50 Express says, Gwyneth Paltrow has poop girlfriends. Dude, Gwyneth Paltrow wild. I don't honestly, let's not get into Gwyneth Paltrow. If you guys got questions, please type them into the comments and we will post them right here and then we will talk about it. You can ask whatever you want. We're trying to be open books, but specifically if you got questions about goat rearing, if you got questions about living in the Great White North, if you got questions about the Well Read special that's coming up, if you got questions about DJ and I's secret project, we might answer some of those. If you got questions about what happened to Rocco, who is the man DJ stole that work jumpsuit from, you can see the name patch right there. Those are some good topics. If you got questions about art, that's a good topic. I have noticed on here that there's a slight delay. Like they will respond to what we're saying a minute after we've been talking about it. So I have vomited all of that out and no one's asking any questions. So that's pretty typical. I got a question for you, DJ.
Yep.
How do you get your hair looking so pink and frail and beautiful?
Does it look frail?
Well, pink hair always reminds me of frail. I don't know why. It's like wispy girls usually have pink hair.
Yeah. Dre just messes with it, and then I go about my life.
Do you have to bleach it first?
Huh?
Do you have to bleach it first?
She does sometimes, depending on what color she's putting in it, what kind of color she's messing with.
I see. We've only got 2 questions and a comment. Fuck you, I'm not wispy. I don't know, Sarah.
Fuck you, I'm not wispy. Yeah. I like it.
All right. Do you keep track of how much time and money you spend on the art you create? Do you want to go first?
I will say absolutely not. Well, unless it's like depending on like it depends if like right now, yes, absolutely, because there is a budget and there is a time limit.
Yeah.
But
I work better under a healthy time constraint, honestly. I think that's because I was programmed to be like a little do-gooder student. Budget. I agree with you that right now more so than usual, and also as my career progresses, various things have budgets, so you end up keeping track with it. In the past, I didn't keep track of it, but also it was like all my extra money. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't a lot. It was just like, and it's different for a comic because it's not like you need a lot of materials, but I considered the open mic that was $5, money going towards my art. And then if I bought 2 drinks there trying to be cool and make friends, which is part of it for better or worse when you move to a new city, I considered that part of it. But I never
gas money
for sure. Now that I run everything through a business, it's sort of kept track of for me, by some app or what, like, you know what I mean? Like I've got a business account and I've got Intuit books or some shit. Time, nah. Like again, if we're on a time constraint, it's not even that I'm keeping track. It's just like we got to be done by X date. I've tried to let me write every day for an hour. I can accomplish that, like if I do it in the morning. But like with building the special set, I've been like, okay, at least an hour a day listening to the last week's sets, and then like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but it don't work.
Yeah, working on a set for me, like, is a terrible thing to do. I can't. I will know jokes, and they'll either land in a proper order or they won't. Yep. And it's all just being in the matrix up there.
Yeah, I feel similarly until I crack it, and then I feel like, I don't want to say invincible up there. I feel very unworried about the things I used to be worried about. Sure. Usually worried about. So then I can focus more on how I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's a really good spot to be in. The Limey Redneck says, I've looked and can't find much about the art club you have. I think it's called Eat, Fruit, and Fuck. Can you explain how it started? And if I can find it online at all, please. Okay. It started as a experimental Zoom club. We wanted to start a fake cult as a joke, as a bit during the pandemic. We started meeting and having comedy shows. That became an art share. When people started sending us their art, we started to show their art. And as far as quote unquote finding it, first of all, it's in your heart. Second of all, there's a Discord. And we are gonna take it to the people next summer. Man, it's hard to answer that question because it's so ever evolving. Go, you give it a shot, DJ.
I would say basically Yeah, man, I would say Patreon would be the best place to look for the art shares and the things like that. You can find the end of the biscuit.
We are so bad at promo. This
We're
person
we're awful.
doesn't know that we have a Patreon, and I didn't tell them that. If you go to the Patreon, you can get it for pretty cheap. I think the bottom number is 10 right now. We should try to make that 5.
Yeah, for sure.
If you go to our Patreon, Into the Biscuit Patreon, you can find recordings of past art shares where people have shown their art, and DJ and I have talked to them about it, interviewed them about it. We do have on Monday the 20th a live streamed art share, Limey Redneck, that we will post about. You have to reach out to us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook for the link. The reason why is if we post the link, these Gen Z kids from India will bomb us by showing us videos of guys riding bicycles with dicks for seats, and it's pretty incredible. I'm for it, but it offended a lot of people, and I get that.
You're right, and it breaks the show up. Not in a good way. It's just like, oh, now we got to watch dicks for 10 minutes, and like that's just crazy. But we do a lot of like comedy / art things. If you just follow, even though I know we've both been traveling a lot, and we've both been.
Well, yeah, the real answer to why it's hard to find right now is it was a very regular thing we did during the pandemic, and then I got back on the road. DJ moved to the Great North to be an artist in residence at the Sculpture Space, and it's just kind of evolved, and it's really a beautiful thing. It's strange for someone to come into it now, I guess, but what it's evolved into is going to be a live art share, traveling road show, merry prankster art extravaganza. But we can't talk a lot about it yet because we don't have anything to show you people. But DJ's building it literally right now. DJ, I want you to answer this question. You can go ahead and finish your last thought, but then I want you to answer this question.
Yeah, I'm not so much building it as I am doing a lot of sweeping and making coffee and
shout out Papa Carl.
Yeah. Carl and another individual named John Taylor is built it. Yeah, I did art in prison. That's where I of course I did it before I went in, but like when I went in, yeah, definitely that's definitely where I got my chops from. I was I it's so crazy because it started really the writing and like being I was working in the mental health area as a just as like a just clean and like an orderly kind of, you go in there and butt floors and shit and take out the trash and do whatever. I got to meet all the people in there, and I realized like around Christmas it was really sad because in the mental health areas there was a lot of people who just didn't have families and everything. It was just sad. So like I got with the warden, Miss Wendy Thompson in Pelham, Georgia. I was like, man, we should do something for her. She was like, what do you want to do? Like put on a play? And I was like, yeah, let's have a talent show play thing. You know what I mean? Then she was like, all right. And I was like, fucking cool. And so I wrote a play and started doing that. And then just got into writing.
It's so beautiful to me how all of this is just so much inside you, and it's like always come out of you. And I love how Carl used the word innate. You know what I mean? I remember I was at a public defender training. This is a quick story, and they wanted to do some kind of thing. Like at the end, they were like a sketch or a speech or some kind of presentation about prosecutors. And I was like, hey, why don't you let me play a prosecutor? And we do what we were doing there is like a public defender training. Why don't we do a play about how the prosecutor training is going right now? And I'm murdered. I mean, it was easy, because they weren't expecting anybody to be funny. I remember I was shaking hands with people as I walked in, and I skipped all the black guys. And anyway, it's just funny to think about how some of that stuff's innate. Also, that's just really beautiful. I don't know, putting on that stuff with the mental health folks. See, DJ's always been a cult leader, of leading insane people, doing art. This question
Yeah.
is from the Dark Canuck. When are you and Andy going to do a show together? She's funny as hell. Andy's hilarious. Andy's the funniest actor I know. And I mean that across the board of anybody you've seen me work with. As a matter of fact, we got a very special project coming up I can't talk about yet with a band of ours who's heroes of ours, where she's going to be in their music video because she's so funny. But Andy is not much of a comedy writer, and that's to quote her, not myself. I would love to work with her. When she was doing Rayla for real, and our fans were like, I mean, our fans were coming up to me, why, how does it feel to be the least funny in your family and stuff? I wanted her to blow up. I was like, I want to open for you and write your jokes. That is my absolute dream job. But Andy has way too many artistic interests. She's not in love with the laugh like me and DJ might be. She likes to do that stuff, but she also prefers drama. So I don't know if we'll ever do a full-on show together, but you might see us in a music video soon. Here's a quick one, DJ. What's been the wildest part of the cold in the winter?
Buddy, dude, okay, number one, I live in a school bus, right? So, like, with a goat. So that in and of itself, fucking wild and shit, you know? It's when it first hit below zero, man, it was something. Like, we're straight up pioneer living, like going to fetch our water. It's a constant thing of having to keep. And also, we live with a goat in a school bus, so there's like it's everything has to constantly be cleaned, and like, and like there's just a constant. It's a constant from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You're doing something, and when it gets below zero, you're just not ready for that. A person doesn't, like, it's insane that people live in these conditions. To me, it's literally insane. And like, I thought I was done before, but like, no, man, no. When that cold hits you, you get dumb. Like, you don't have thoughts other than it's cold. And that's, you think people are reserved there? You think people are reserved there? They just ain't got shit to say. They're like, let me get to my car. I gotta get the fuck out. I have nothing to talk about. I need to get somewhere where it's warm. Like, fuck, I gotta go, chop wood or whatever.
Yeah, it's a waste of calories. I like this question a lot from Sarah Wofford. Do certain things or scenarios inspire you more than others, or do you just keep your soul open to everything? I'll go first because I imagine your answer's longer than mine, but maybe not. I do find that certain things and scenarios inspire me more than others. I think that's changing as I'm growing as a person and an artist. I know when I first started doing comedy, 90% of my jokes were about things that annoyed me. Like, I could really latch on to anger and annoyance as an emotion and then try to project that through a joke and then hopefully be some catharsis for the audience. I remember when I first started, if the audience wasn't also annoyed about what I was annoyed about, I couldn't make them laugh. They had to relate to me in that first way. And obviously I have this weird infatuation with justice from my time as a public defender to even what I do now, where I want the universe to be fair, and it's not. But I feel like inspired to try and help in the situations where I see that it's not. And it doesn't always make for the funniest material, but it does make for some rad and often sad art. And that just has always inspired me to create or to attach myself to more than other scenarios. But as I grow, I'm finding, honestly, like, things I love. My best jokes are about things I love right now. Go ahead, DJ.
No, that was really beautiful, man. That was really beautiful. I feel like the main, if I were to say a scenario that inspired me, it would be anytime I'm in a conversation with meeting people. Today I had this great conversation with this. She's building tools for painting these pyrotechnic. It's crazy. Anyway, and she's from Brooklyn, and we just had this big long talk about the opioid epidemic in Appalachia. You know what I'm saying? And like, and how she felt about how the Metropolitan Art Museum was moving away from the Sacklers, and like the obviously she doesn't know what it's like, never been to Appalachia, doesn't know anybody who's ever had an opioid, like doesn't know what it's like to live there or what that is. But like I found it to be something uh it struck me. It struck me with her compassion did, and her I guess, like, you know, wanting the people of the arts to you know, especially the Metropolitan Art Museum, who had gotten so much money from the Sacklers, to erase
So
their
much
name.
money.
Yeah, dude, to erase their name from everything. And it's a
It's,
weird, huh? Go ahead.
it's just wild how the rich do that with art. It's a total money laundering
Yeah,
scam and a
it is.
tax scam. And as artists, because our government's not supporting us, we are allowing it to happen, you know?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
there's an artist, and I cannot remember his name. I haven't seen his work in a while. He was dropping very heavy sculptures of like bent needles and snorting straws in front of places like that, and really,
yeah.
I mean, genuinely changed the game with art. I'm gonna look his name up while you keep talking.
It's funny how many artists and how many people like are like, we don't know what else to do at this point except for to express ourselves and to give this, you know, we can't yell, we, you know, the internet's a lie, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you're basically being fed algorithms of product placement, you know, there's nothing real on there, you know what I mean? No real opinions. It's like the only way that you could really get out there is, and it's so weird, like people who do all these, like, and especially in the folk arts, I think there's a big emergence of voices that are preparing to come out and be very much such. And there's not another way to do that except through your art.
Right. And your community. And
Yep.
I think there's a huge push, you know, mutual aid
Yep.
becoming such a prominent part of actual resistance movements because people don't trust, rightfully so, the nonprofit industry as much as they used to.
Right.
You couple that with the art scene having a similar thing. By the way, that artist's name was Dominique Esposito. The first thing he did was put a spoon in front of Purdue Pharmaceuticals, but he ended up doing protests in front of the museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, too, because they were getting so much money from the Sacklers. I just wanted to mention his name. I'm interested in this question, and I hope you're okay with being a little vulnerable with us, DJ. This question is from Aaron McCullough, a journalist out of Tennessee who does great work. DJ, what are some of the things physically or spiritually that you miss about the South? What are you embracing about the North and the colder climate?
I absolutely miss everything about the South. I won't be staying up here. This isn't my end. This isn't. I'll be headed back south for too many years. You know what I'm saying? Once I get everything down, definitely. There's a strong disconnection with the culture here.
Do you
Not that
think
it's
it's that culture or that it's not the South? Like, you've also lived in California. Did you feel a connection with that culture? I know you're a different person then, but what I'm wondering is it something specific about the North, or is it just that it's not the South?
no. There's definitely something about number one, the cold don't hit for me like this. Like it's not hit for me. It's not at all.
And it can't be overstated that the code becomes the culture. Like, it was that
Yeah,
way in Boston too. Like, the code becomes the it has to. You will
yeah,
die.
yeah, man. That's it. And it's weird. And I think that there's just like a lot that I don't understand. But of course, like I'm in a world right now that I've never been in before. I'm in the fine arts world, so these rural spaces, even though they are extremely rural and extremely it's the same. How can I say this? It's not the same, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah, being around academia, which is the only thing I've been around that I can compare it to in terms of the fine arts space, is its own insulated culture wherever you are. And that's all I can say about it without speaking ignorantly or throwing my opinion on something I don't fully understand.
Well, I mean, it'd be the same. Like if a painter or something, painters like were to enter into a house full of comedians. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy because all of our intent is the same. It's the same direction. We want to create all artists, like regardless, we want to create something which inspires, which I'm saying, which helps us relate, to ourselves. I mean, I don't think anybody out there, I mean, a lot of people are out there doing it just because they're fucking psychopaths and need validation. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it just happened. There's talented people out there who don't give a fuck, who would literally be whoever it was that was gonna. And those people are wild. It's wild to be around people like that. But I think our language is the same. I think we all speak the same language, as far as like the language of trying to emote these deep rooted parts of ourselves that and of our culture and of our worlds that we want to share and relate to with other human beings.
Yeah, I was talking with our buddy Warren Tidwell last night and Elliot Rahal, who is a writer out of Minnesota, about a project. And Warren was talking about how it may sound cliche, but you have to go into the community before you can do anything with, comment on, organize, even help the community. And I was thinking about that all night and the conversation we had. And that's the biggest, to me, that's the biggest gap with the internet right now, is that the internet does a much better job of showing us our differences than it does our similarities. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a cliche. We're more the same than we're different. But like existing in a world every day, day to day with people, you like know that on an emotional level. And that's the only way to get it, But I assume that the differences you do have become more prevalent, though, too. Am I wrong about that? Like living there with all these people who are in the fine art world, you really start to understand the ways that they're not like comedians, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. There's a lot of that. There's the way that they think, the way that it's the way that they approach problems, or because the comic is going to come about it the most, generally in the most. I don't want to say like not, but there's good, huh?
It's a hammer.
Yeah.
Like that's our tool, and like I don't defend these anti-cancel culture jock comics, but I genuinely know where they're coming from. I mean, a lot of it is they found a way to make a lot of money because they have a fear that the world apparently shares with them. But I know where that fear comes from, where it's like, the hammer's the only tool I got. Don't take that hammer from me because I ain't got nothing else.
Right. Yeah, man. It's wild, dude. It's wild. But like their thought, like, artists, their thoughts on comedy, is also another interesting thing. Their thoughts on our art is pretty bizarre. And
I know. I've had those conversations. It's like, man, give me and I know that I tend to put working class people on a pedestal, but give me a working class guy's opinions on how comedy would be over. And it's no judgment of like the fine artist. It's just like, man, you've really overfelt this.
Yeah.
There's other thinking some, but you overfelt it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one for my boy Donkey. That's his name on he showed me his ID. He came to see Well Red in Charlotte. He lives in Philadelphia now. What's the first thing you want when you get back to the South? For me, it's Bojangles tea. For me, I don't always get it immediately, and you'll understand why when I say it, but it's gravy and biscuits. And I'm not going to go to Hardee's. I want mom's or my mother-in-law, dad's, or whatever. But what is it for you, DJ?
Yeah, I'm a big biscuit and gravy guy. Really barbecue, man. Like
Really?
Yeah, also. But sweet tea,
barbecue.
Definitely. I fucking tea, man. Sweet tea it's crazy.
It used to be tea for me. Like when I was in law school, it was definitely tea. I mean, I guess the first thing I want is a hug from my mama, but after that, it's gravy.
Yeah, man. I definitely miss, like, there's not any barbecue. They don't do barbecue. They don't do a lot of the regular staples. Biscuit and gravy. Forget about it. Biscuits ain't happening.
Right.
But yeah. The tea is one of the main things. I feel that 100%.
If you're joining us, we're doing a Q&A. I mean, surely you have figured that out. Comment whatever you want. Talk back and forth with each other. Post some questions for us. I assume this question is for DJ. Yeah, it says up there. I have not had this problem. I got made fun of in law school, but they can understand me. DJ, have you found that anyone can't understand you because of the accent?
Literally nobody up here can understand me, especially when I get excited. Like, I have to talk slow.
When you get excited, I can't understand you.
Yeah, so I have to talk slow, and I have to tell, and it has to be like, I have to use words like I have to think about what I'm saying. I have to, yeah, it's crazy. The Wisconsin, and they're so like so reserved, like all that, like, oh gosh, and and I'm just so, hey, what the fuck y'all doing?
Like, oh gosh is not an emotion you identify with. Whatever.
No.
Whatever they're emoting with that, you don't feel it.
Yeah, man, I can't. Yeah. And a lot of I'm sorry.
Was talking about he slapped a kid at his church accidentally. He rounded the corner, the kid was hiding, and he jumped out and was like, "Ugh!" My dad just popped him, just like instinctively. And my dad was like, "Yeah, like fight or flight. I only got one of them." And I was like, "Oh yeah, me too. Like I don't have a lot of flight in me. I don't have whatever that is. You don't have, oh gosh."
Yeah.
Like you experience fear, but not whatever that like apprehension, social, and I think it's beautiful personally.
Well, I just don't have a lot of I don't know, whatever that is, that apologetic. Wow, I'm not really self-aware a lot of times. Like, I'm really loud. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really loud. I'm always really loud. I'm always like looking at stuff. I'm always touching stuff and fucking with stuff, pressing all the buttons up here at the Scotia Space, pressing all the buttons, hitting all the stuff, picking up all the. What does this do? That's just opening up all the doors.
There's a lot of people claiming they can always understand you. Yeah, y'all ain't hung out with them. Here's a good one. What's a new culinary experience you've tried that surprised you with how much you enjoyed it?
Grilled biscuits. And that's something that they do up here. And it was quite a
New York, right?
Yeah. It's up here in New York. And so yeah, man. Grilled biscuits. Never had them. It's basically just it's almost like a pancake, a flapjack, whatever you want to call it. But it's biscuit, and it's flames. I can't even describe it. It was flames. And they have red cheese and shit here. I mean, they do sausage, like summer sausages. They do it fucking fire. They do it flames. Yeah.
Yeah, Carl sent some sausage home for my dad, and Dad was impressed. He's a hard man to impress, but he was like, and it was deer sausage. They got a lot of deer hunting up there. What about I know you seem to be a light beer guy. I've always felt like they had way better beer in Wisconsin and Minnesota than anywhere else in America.
It's definitely a beer culture. It's an alcohol culture, and of course it is because
Cold.
It's fucking cold.
Yeah, my kid died last winter. What am I supposed to do? Not get drunk?
Yeah.
Living in a bus. Also, I've been wanting to ask you this. Where do you poop?
Oh, well, okay. We poop.
It was the sigh for me.
Yeah. Well, so there's a you sure you want to get into all this?
Not if you don't want to, baby.
Well, I mean, I don't know if everybody wants to do it. It's a lot of outside pooping and peeing.
Yeah, you can just kind of tell us, like, is it outside? Is it in a different part? Okay. Is that? Yeah, don't send the Dark Canuck says, don't send us pics. We know what it looks like. Joe Blow says pizza box. I've forgotten how much we have talked about what we do with our poop on the various podcasts. Freaky Tiki wants to know if the seat's frozen. Are you squatting?
No. There's a compost toilet, but there's also a toilet inside. It just all depends. It all depends on where you are and how bad you got to go.
So there's like a situation.
Do what?
There's like an outhouse situation.
Well, I mean, no, it's outside.
There's no house?
There is Carl's house.
Yeah.
Which is, so you go in there and take a shit.
But then there's a compost toilet.
Yeah.
Where's
which
that
is up in the annex. It's in the annex. But the annex, which is getting foamed today, doesn't have any heat in it yet.
Right. So when you say it's outside, you mean it feels like it's outside.
Yeah.
Someone keeps posting this, and I don't know what it means. You know what that means? Emma White.
Tech.
Virginia Tech?
Maybe.
Emma White, if you're not a bot, please, tell us what that means. We've been getting this comment a lot that everybody's liking your beard, so, I don't know.
Thank you, man. Thank
you. Snark and Sass says spam. I'm pretty sure they mean that's what VARTech is, but also
guess what?
Spam. What?
Right up the street from where I live, in Minnesota, well, right up the road a little bit, between there is in Austin, Minnesota, which is the home of Spam, the Hormel factory. And you can go take a tour in that motherfucker and all that good shit.
Yeah, man. That's rules. Did you go up there and do a tour yet?
Fuck no, dude. I don't want to. I just will go up there and apologize to everybody. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all.
DJ's like, no, I don't want to tour it. I don't want to tour my past. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, it's a factory town.
Can we get McDonald's, Mom? We got McDonald's at home making you a spam sandwich.
Yeah. Dude, now it's like one of those factory towns that's basically built around the factory. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things. So, like, I've never had any interest in going down there and being like, oh, man, I'm sorry, whoever grew up here.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you meant like sorry for being from the part of the country that made this a product.
No.
Thank you, Donkey. I think we brought this up earlier, maybe before you got on here. I asked for a very different haircut, and a gentleman named Kirby just gave me what he wanted, and I literally teared up later because it took me a long time to grow that hair, and I don't want to look like a lawyer anymore. But yes, I agree. It looks good on me. This is apparently what God and Kirby want me to look like. DJ, can you talk a bit about some of the art being worked on? No worries if not. It sounds like the scale of it's pretty cool from the bits and bobs I've heard.
Well, yeah, man. I can. I can tell you. It's basically it is a installation, a mobile installation, called Earl, Emergency Art Response Laboratory.
Yeah, Pepple Carl, who some of the OGs will know, came to us with an old idea he has had for a few years and talked to us about adapting it into some of the stuff we had kicked around, and it's growing from there. And we're not trying to be super cryptic. It's just we kind of want to show y'all before we talk too much about it. And oh, look at this comment. You're going to get a big laugh out of this, DJ.
Nobody wears butter.
I had to take a screen cap, so I got that picture. The comment, if you're listening on the podcast later, is failure looks good on Drew. LOL. Thank you, Dark Canuck.
So what happens with this like YouTube thing? This is out and everybody this is YouTube land?
It's on YouTube right now. People are watching it right now, but it'll also be up, and then we're gonna make this an episode of Unity Biscuit, and then I will download it and put it on the podcast feed, where we have a lot more listeners than I have YouTube followers. Something I'm trying to change in 2022. Yeah. Well, it looks like we have not run out of questions, but maybe exhausted that part of it. If you have any more, post them now, and we will get to them. I wanted to ask you something. I forgot what it is. Oh, once your time is done as an artist in resident there, and you, there's a good question. I'll get to that in a minute. And you get back to Minnesota, are you going to try to make it through the winter?
Yeah, we're building the annex. We're going to finish building the annex, which will eventually be like an Airbnb space for but we'll be living in there. Like it's getting foamed up right now, the insulated foam. So we're going to move inside there. It's like we're not going to be in a school bus all winter. And if this residency hadn't come up, we would have already finished. I mean, it's going to be 60 degrees. It's going to be 60 degrees in Minnesota on Wednesday. So.
Oh, wow. Nice. You're getting a little heat wave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're going to survive it. Heat stroke. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know it.
Question from Jessica Locke. I've been watching Papo Carl's Instagram. I wonder if that thing on top is a pop-up trailer. Yes, it is. Follow Papo Carl on Instagram if you want to get involved and learn more. I'm going to try to brand Papo Carl as our resident curmudgeon in 2022. And I want you guys to help with that. I want y'all to follow him on Instagram. I want y'all to share all the videos we're going to end up making and stuff. And look, I've got a comedy special I'm filming with Well Read soon. DJ and Carl are graciously building this fucking thing along with JT. And, we're busy. We're busy with the foundations of the new project they are, and I'm busy with putting the cherry on top of the past project. But we're going to be rocking it in 2022. His name is Carl Unosh. I don't know how to say it. He always gets mad at me. It's like, look, dude, I speak American. I don't know what you want from me, Papaw. But follow him, Carl Unosh Art with a K, Unnasch. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, there's actually a lot of people involved in it right now. There's also John Taylor. There's the fabricators.
That's JT.
A lot of different. Huh?
I said JT. That's John Taylor, right? I wasn't trying to.
Yep. Ian Mancini. There's like a lot of people who are going to be building inside of it, and all are going to take credit. There's like, and then wow, dude, when I just sit here and think about all the different artists that are going to be involved in this thing, from fucking dude, Sarah, John Trotter, like people who have been coming with us, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like
We're going to be putting our own swag on it too. Which there's a part of me that wonders how that's going to go over when I get inside that trailer and I'm like, this is beautiful. I want this picture of me as an okra right fucking here. We'll see. Here's a good question.
Get Carl.
What's that?
Get Carl to make you a stained glass okra boy installation.
I'm gonna get emotional. Don't even talk about it. Drew, has your side gig with DJ, I don't consider it a side gig, but I understand what you mean, throughout COVID affected your approach to your resumed well-read gig? Yeah, probably. I think that I've always considered the stuff DJ and I do to be my main gig. I understand why people don't consider it that, because well-read takes up a lot of my time. Well-read is profitable. Like, let's just put it where it's at. Trey Crowder broke through so many walls and reached out to people, and I'm forever grateful for it. And that's not to say I consider well-read a side gig, but to answer your question, how did it affect me? It did affect my approach. I have been a bit of a contrarian. Some of that by design. It's more fun for me. I'm comfortable in that position on a podcast or just in general. But with well-read, I'm also much further left than most of their fans. And I say their fans not to imply that they're not my fans. Some of them are. And I've learned over the years some of them are not. I fucking hate the Democratic Party from the bottom of my soul. And a lot of well-read fans get down with that, but a lot of them don't. I'm bringing that up because how has it affected my approach? You guys have given me a lot of confidence. When DJ and I went on the road, guys, if you saw me in June, for me, I was bad at stand-up comedy because I had gotten to a certain level and then the pandemic all but killed that. I'm back now. If you saw me in Bristol, and I know Nilda did, I'm getting close to my old form. I'm bringing all that up to say it affected me because I realized that sometimes things on stage, like I guess sometimes feeling like the odd man out or whatever, it was like, oh, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. And it really, I guess, calmed my approach. It didn't change my approach. It calmed my approach of like, oh, I'm not really a contrarian necessarily. I just happen to be in this particular instance or whatever. And so it affected it that way. The other way that it's affected it is that you guys have made me more open. Like, well-read fandom, to be completely honest with you, freaked me out a little bit at first. Me with that buzzing, buddy.
I'm sorry, I got rid of it.
Okay, it's all good. Just having fans in general freaked me out. When well-read first broke open and we went on the road and having people recognize you and all that, it weirded me out. And the COVID Into the Abyss stuff calmed me down with that a lot. And I realized most of you are harmlessly crazy like me. And that's cool, you know? So I think it's that way. And then also just well-read aside, my life, the side gig with DJ through COVID has affected my approach to life because it's given me a lot of, I don't want to say confidence, maybe validation, which it sucks that that's the word, but I do think that's the word in the sense that I know what I want next. I'm not sure I know how to get it. I'm very terrified, but some of the stuff DJ and I are doing, some of the people we've gotten to meet, Warren Tidwell keeps coming back up in my mind, Misty Skaggs. I know what I want to do next. And I'm not sure that has anything to do with well-read, but it has to do with how I approach my life. So my gig with DJ through COVID has affected my approach to life in immeasurable ways. And hopefully there's a lens with which we can all view that by the end of 2022 or 2023 or whenever it is. And yeah, thank you for that question, Squirrel Nuts.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
DJ, do you think art programs would help inmates prepare for release? And if so, how?
I believe that, yes, art would definitely help any kind of trade, any kind of craft, any kind of education. Yes, all of it. And just because they'll be better suited to go out into the world and have, I mean, these people, I mean, so just using my own case, and what was going on with me, I was a juvenile, charged as an adult. There's in adult prison. Like if I had been charged as a juvenile, I would have had to have schooling. I would have had to have an education. I would have gotten some sort of trade work in, something like that. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in for in the penitentiary, as far as like what you are, there's no training, there's nothing. They just send you off in the world, and then what you have is you have to figure out a way to survive in a world that is completely unsurvivable. There's literally no way, there's no way to, with the fines, with the workforce out there, the labor force, and especially without any kind of trade. What we end up having and as a bunch of lost souls out there sent out into the expanses of this really cruel. I remember telling you a while back ago that but prison was easy, comparatively speaking, because when you go to prison, when they send you to prison, you have this, a set schedule. You have, you kind of know what is and what is not. When you get out of prison, you're just set out there. You're just set out into the world and ordered to meet this criteria, this list of things to do, with literally no idea to do it, and most of the time, no support system and no way to, no one else there to help you. And it's just, yes, education and hard programs.
And I'm laughing because that's what I do, and I don't even know how to respond. You just think about what you just said, like the gravity and the weight of the sentence. Prison was easy compared to getting out. Now, obviously, every situation is different. You had been in a while, you went in at a young age, but I think about that with my brother. Now, my brother went in at 32. So he had lived as an adult for a little while, but in a world that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to be harder for him because of his addiction. I've known it since he went in, that getting out would be harder. And I guess I never thought about how that's true of anybody who does a long stint.
Yeah, the world changes so fast. It changes so fast. You have no idea. Like when I got locked up, maybe one person on the street that I knew of had internet. Their mom had internet, AOL, whatever it was. You know what I mean? And when I got out, everybody had computers. Everybody had cell phones. Those were the days of MySpace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that whole thing, dude, it was so fucking wild. I didn't know how to drive, nor did I didn't know how to drive till I was over 30, and then I didn't have I didn't learn how to drive until I was over 30. Did you say? I hear he's yeah, not very well.
Dude, it makes sense to me intellectually. I don't agree with it. It makes sense to me intellectually why this is so far down on people's list. It's like we've got to allocate funds and energy and effort towards different things. Who wants to help a bunch of convicts? And especially when we're not even helping our vets get back into society, and we're going to have to come to terms with that. We've been at war for 30 years. And because it's not on TV, and because poor people are fighting the wars now, unlike Nam, I mean, that was the lesson America learned from Nam. It wasn't don't get into these bullshit skirmishes. It's don't put it on TV and make the poor people. But we know about the Vietnam vet, Tom Cruise born on the 4th of July. That's still happening. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off prisons. I'm just saying, we're not even helping are vets. And I'm not even trying to imply that just because you went to prison, you deserve help less than vets. I'm saying that recognizing that many people feel that way, we're not even helping the vets. So we're so far from even trying to help formerly incarcerated folks. And it's kind of harrowing because we have the most people in prison of any country in the world. We've been at war for 30 years. Like, there's a lot of fucked up men getting out of those situations with no help. And
yeah,
man.
Yeah, man.
We would get into the biscuit before the hour was up.
I mean, think about it right now, man. And I feel, and listen, man, regardless of how anybody feel, I mean, I think Rittenhouse is 100% a racist murderer. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a murderer. I think he's a killer. I do. And I've known a lot of juvenile killers. Believe me, I know it. That's one of them. Line, you know, I could. It's weird how you can know a type of motherfucker and not even like, it's not even from what he says. It's like you can see like just the way a person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain that.
I think I know what you're saying. I'm going to be honest. I don't believe in that, but that's easy for me to say, having met maybe one juvenile killer.
You don't think that he's a juvenile? You don't think he's a killer?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't believe in the knowing it from a type thing, because I've heard too many people say that, like, you know, about my clients before.
Oh, okay. I hear what you're saying. I
think that dude, that dude's he went there to kill people, and then he did.
Yeah, but, he went in there to kill
people. Me, it's like, I don't even need to see his face. Like, dude went there to kill folks. Then he killed folks.
No, it's not even it's like mannerisms, the mannerisms, and like just the.
I'm saying I don't believe in that, but that's easy for me to say, having not met many of those folks. But I don't believe in it because I've heard that coming from evil people before.
Right. Yeah, I think. But with Rittenhouse, it's weird, because I feel this certain kind of way about it, though, in my heart, because I have this thing about juveniles being put in adult spaces, right, and being allowed to do this. And I also, like, seriously, there's no way, unless I don't know. Just like, there's more people are getting, there's more suffering. It's just not. I don't. You know, there's like something there.
Yeah, it's not going to help us.
Huh?
It's not going to help us, the world, the collective us, by doing this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it breaks my heart that we had that whole case there, that we could have pointed and we could have aimed it at juvenile mental health, juvenile places. Juvenile law, youth law, like all these things. Like, we could have been. And now with this other kid who did, these kids with these school shootings and stuff like that, especially with their parents being the way that they are, which is insane to me. Yeah. But like, this has got to be a fucking conversation, man. Oh, like, it's got to eventually be a fucking conversation.
It's going to be. I think it already is becoming one. This is. I want to. Oh, that's Solo Monk. A look. He's talking about a look or a type is sometimes used as a tool to dismiss people's humanity, and that's what I was getting at. I want to shout out Solo Monk. Find Solo Monk on any and every platform and follow this man. I mentioned earlier having a conversation with Warren Tidwell and my friend Elliot last night. Solo Monk's name came up. I wasn't planning on doing this till after the year, because I'm working with Elliot right now, and he said, I don't need to be distracted. Don't introduce me to any more people. But Elliot's a comic book writer, and eventually I want to connect him with Solo Monk. But anyway, everybody follow my guy. There was one more question or comment I wanted to find, and then I was going to let us get out of here. Well, where did it go? Someone asked me about my bar membership real quick. I'll post that. I do maintain my bar membership, and it's honestly so they'll stop emailing me and sending me letters. That's the whole reason why. For $80 a year, they'll leave me alone. I've tried to retire. I've tried to quit. They put me on Front Street. One time they put me in a magazine as being like delinquent or something. I was like, I'm not delinquent. I'm retired. These people are evil. Well, I can't find it. I can't find what I wanted to. Here, we'll end on this one. Do you have an answer for that, DJ? Ooh, there's a couple. We'll do back to back. We're doing food questions, and then we're getting out of here to make it lighthearted at the end. What's the best kind of hot sauce? I can tell a difference between bad and good. I cannot separate good from good. I like the Crystal hot sauce. I like Cholula hot sauce. I like Louisiana hot sauce. There's some I don't like. I don't like Frank's very much, personally.
I'm a fan of Frank's. I'm a fan of Frank's. I like sauce. Like, it don't necessarily have to be like tiger sauce hits for me real hard. Let's see what else.
Oh, maybe Aaron didn't mean brands. Maybe Aaron meant, type. I like the pepper and tomato based, just Southern hot sauce. I think the best. I don't rock with what's the rooster that everybody loves?
Louisiana, or
No,
what is it?
The Thai one, sriracha. I hate sriracha. There's a bitterness in there that ain't for me. I've got enough bitter in my heart. I don't need it in my tongue.
Yeah, I like sriracha. I fuck with that.
Luck with it.
Yeah, man. Louisiana is pretty much so what was cracking for me.
Yep.
It was my go-to.
Yeah. I think Cholula is our go-to because Andy likes it a little bit better than Louisiana, and I'm fine with it. I also really like anything with horseradish in it. Andy's got me on a horseradish kick. We got an oyster sauce we got from the Carolina Pepper Company.
Oh, rad.
It was pretty rad. All right, here's another food question.
Man, that new goji berry is flames. It's flames. It's flames. Man, that new goji berry strawberry mess. Man, that is what is happening. But I also like the Liberty Dude now too. But just the Code Red probably kicked off.
Those just listening, not watching, where the question is, what's your favorite flavor of Mountain Dew? I'm a classic man. The Code Red.
Have you tried the goji yet?
I haven't tried the goji yet. The Code Red's too much for me. That watermelon, I've never hated anything I thought I would love more. It was like this is gonna be it. It felt like when a movie franchise where they miss, where you love them but then they miss. It was like, what just happened? How did they screw up Mountain Dew and watermelon? It's two of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the different kinds of barbecue? I'm a KC man, Ben. I'm a Kansas City barbecue man.
Yeah,
I like burn-ins, brisket. I like Texas style. I know I come from East Tennessee and that Western Carolina barbecue, the pork. I love that stuff with the vinegar base. But man, I'm a brisket boy.
Yeah, brisket. That's what's happening. That Kansas City does it. I love the rubs. I love rub more than like sauce. Like sauce, like depending on sauce. I don't know. I can give or take it, but I prefer rub.
Yeah, I'm a rub man. Dip it in the sauce because I'm a sauce man.
Yep.
But I like burn-ins. I'm a KC guy. I like the Alabama white sauce, but that's all I like about Alabama barbecue. This is a food question, but I like it. Gus asks, what's the best country Christmas song? Is Christmas in Dixie problematic? Am I canceled if I don't give a shit? I understand. Let me start with the Dixie thing. I understand what people are saying about Dixie and how the origin of that word harkens back to people absolutely referencing an independent South, and an independent South meant, we're allowed to have slaves. Here's my thing with that. If they being evil people, are allowed to take cool stuff from us and turn it into something mean, or now it means racist, why aren't we allowed to take something that was racist and turn it into something cool? Yeah, there's limits to that. I love that Andre 3000 used to wear the rebel flag, but you can't change that one. But I think Christmas in Dixie is fine. And Gus, I could never cancel you. The best country Christmas song. That's a good question. DJ, what do you think it is? Honestly, I'm a sucker for Alison Krauss singing old gospel hymns. I don't know if that counts as a country Christmas song, but I'm a real sucker for gospel music sung by Alison Krauss.
Yeah, man, it's hard to go wrong with that. I like Christmas. Dude, honestly, it's so funny that I didn't know that Dixie was even was problematic. I didn't know that was.
I personally don't know if it's problematic. It's just that I acknowledge that the origin of that term was referencing to the Confederacy. So technically, if you call yourself the Dixie Chicks, you know, the original meaning of that, you're calling yourself the Confederacy Chicks.
No.
Here's the thing. Again, if they can change, you know, cool things into negative ones, why can't we do the reverse?
Right on.
You know what I mean? We weren't allowed to wear Hawaiian shirts for a full fucking summer. Let me have Dixie. Bullshit.
Yeah, really took you out of your game. Not being able to wear all those Hawaiian floral shirts. How many do you have?
I don't have any now. I used to have. I've got a couple Pearl Snap Hawaiian shirts. I got a couple.
Really?
Of them. Yeah. I wore them when Well Red played Hawaii. There were 18 people there. Confederacy Chips may have opened for Gypsy Speedboat. Don't bring that up. They've already tried to cancel Gypsy Speedboat. Please don't bring that up. Bo of the Fifth Column has a good video on Dixie. I like that guy. I will watch that. I've never seen it. Here's a fun one. Oh, hey, Drew, your Christmas story on the album, it's better when you did it on the podcast. We'll end on this, Dolly, and I think that's in response to the best Christmas songs. Dolly's got a lot of good country Christmas songs. Hard Candy Christmas, that is a good one. I don't know what Christmas shoes are. All right, well. Oh, here's a funny typo. Bird ends are allowed. I'd like to give me some bird ends. All right, well, let's get out of here. Now it's just become like a thing where, you know, we're just reading these and people listening later on the podcast and going, what are they talking about? I love you, buddy.
And I love you too. Monday, y'all, 9 o'clock Eastern, we will be showing off all the rad stuff. We'll be showing Earl off our emergency art response laboratory, talking to some artists. Right?
Yep. Go ahead. I'm doing a thing.
And yeah, man, and there I hope all your questions will be answered.
Monday, art chair, Zoom. Look at that. I did a thing.
You did it, baby. That's so good.
So many questions will be answered. We could have put this up literally the whole episode.
Yeah.
DM us for the link. As we said earlier, we cannot post it or we will be inundated with dicks. And yes, some of us are fine with that. Some of us are not. We recognize that. You know, we're as people who are trying to be open for all folks. If you don't want to be inundated with dicks, that's why we've got a private Zoom. Well Red's in Florida this weekend at Naples. Well Red is in Nashville next weekend at Zany's. I think every show but maybe one is sold out. So you fucked up if you wanted to come. And DJ and I will be doing Zoom. I wrote Monday. I should write Monday the 20th.
Yeah. Also, we have I don't know what is going on with the book club, but if you're just getting into the biscuit, we have yoga on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I missed out both times because I was on different time zones and I could not get my shit together. So you got rights.
I put the wrong one up for a second. Yeah, go to the Patreon. It's just Into the Biscuit Patreon. That's where you can find old art shares, old EFFs, and learn more about the stuff DJ was talking about, whether it be book club, yoga, etc. And
you can also see us giving Nessie shots. I think there's some videos of living bus life, building stuff, art and stuff. I don't know.
Grungy Dance, no wait, where do we go for yoga? Go to the Patreon, sign up, and then they'll put links up there on the Patreon. Although they haven't hit me up in a while. Were they taking
in Discord? Break? There's also another one in Discord. If you can find the Discord, but I don't know what the name of that one is. I don't know how. Screw them. What's up? Yeah.
I understand why I stopped doing them too, Aaron. Thank you. I was just tired of watching people going viral with my ideas. Well, I don't want to end on that. Go to the Discord. You can find info on the Discord on the Patreon. And yeah, I know it's behind a paywall. We try to do all we can for free, but you know, my man lives in a bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. And also,
up every once in a while. I love everybody. Happy holidays, y'all. Go ahead.
Happy holiday, y'all.
All right.
No, I thought we was already gone.
I know, but I forgot to hit the button.